A video of Mendeecees finally speaking out about his purported relationship with Selma went viral tonight, leaving the internet in a state of total disbelief. The same rumor that, only days earlier, brought Yandy to tears. The love and hip-hop scene is going crazy, and fans are shocked by what they're hearing. Mendeecees' voice breaks in the video as he tries to give his side of the story, claiming it wasn't what people believe, yet acknowledging that mistakes were made and that things came to close. The language is ambiguous, sentimental, and tense. The kind that leaves followers wondering if he's trying to shield someone or confess. The video went viral on social media within minutes of its release. Reaction posts, hashtags, and screenshots were all over the internet. One fan commented, "He finally said it," while another said, "This is worse than we imagined." Some refer to it as atonement, while others call it manipulation, a last-ditch effort to maintain one's dignity in the wake of everything that has been revealed. Hold on tight, because what Mendeecees revealed has everyone wondering who is telling the truth. As the story progresses, one thing is certain: this isn't just another rumor. It feels like the turning point in a story that has been tearing through the hip-hop and love world like wildfire. Mendeecees sat across from a camera, his hands clutched firmly as if holding something precious, and his voice came in low and wobbly, the kind that only comes after days of pressure. "I ain't here to argue or defend," he said quietly, as the room went dark and there was just stillness. Fans had been waiting for this moment for weeks, ever since rumors of his alleged involvement with Selma swept through social media and left Yandy's world in a tailspin. Now, the man at the center of it all was finally ready to speak. "I'm just here to clear my name before this gets further twisted than it already has. I'm not perfect, but I'm not cold either. What happened between me and Selma wasn't what they're trying to make it look like." He took a deep breath before continuing, his eyes darting off camera as if unsure of what to say next. "Everyone has been talking, saying things I can't even recognize as my own story." Within minutes of the clip's publication, reaction videos flooded YouTube, with some fans feeling pity and calling it the first honest thing he'd spoken in months, while others called it damage control. His tone conveyed sorrow rather than denial, and that slight distinction struck a deep chord with supporters. One person commented, "He's crying because he got caught," while another said, "No, he's crying because he lost everything." Mendeecees spoke slowly and deliberately in the video, and Selma arrived at a time when Yandy and I were already at odds. Somewhere in the middle of all of that, things got nasty. I was trying to help her with a project, and she was part of a circle that had something to do with business. He paused, massaged his face, and said, "I'm not saying I did everything perfectly, but some of y'all giving the impression that I was leading two separate lives. That isn't accurate." Because the confession seemed incomplete, not entirely guilty, or completely innocent, it went viral online, and hashtags like Mendeecees Speaks and Selmagate started trending on Instagram. "He didn't deny it," an admirer commented. "He simply made it softer." Yandy didn't deserve to find out like that, he stated quietly, but what really stunned them was what followed. Others backed him, claiming he was finally taking responsibility. "I'll live with that error for a long time, since I never wanted her to feel ashamed." The internet froze the instant his voice broke. That statement was repeatedly reposted by bloggers, but not which one. "He acknowledges a mistake," they captioned. Selma, who had stayed quiet during all the turmoil, unexpectedly rose to the top of the love and hip-hop universe once more. Screenshots of old pictures of her appeared, including charity events, red carpets, and behind-the-scenes photos. Every picture of her close to Mendeecees was now considered proof. One clip from months ago showed the two of them laughing during a panel discussion, and fans zoomed in on there. One fan said, "You can't fake chemistry like that," while another said it was harmless. "Look at that," someone commented, referring to the way she stares at him. But that doesn't mean it was wrong. As the video went on, Mendeecees attempted to elucidate how things went south. "I didn't even realize what was going on until it was too late. One statement becomes a post, which then becomes a headline, and before you know it, everyone is evaluating you based on a rumor." He became stiff in his voice. "I never claimed to be flawless, but I'm not a villain as well." That statement turned into yet another soundbite that was circulated on social media. He sounded sincere, according to some fans who sympathized. He was accused of playing the victim by others. There were faint sounds of someone moving in the background of the video, which might have been a buddy or producer recording the sit-down. It wasn't just a man attempting to correct the record in front of the world during a formal interview. He went on to say that Selma had done nothing bad. My home wasn't broken up by her. We grew too close, and I accept some responsibility for that, but that's not how it happened. The words were purposeful, hefty, and awkward. Sincerely, once more, the internet went viral. One tweet remarked, "He said it. He literally said they got too close." Yandy's name quickly became popular once more. Her social media was inundated with people who begged her not to take him back and praised her strength. "You deserve better, Queen," one fan commented. On her behalf, others were indignant. One of the fans said, "Too close is still wrong. She was not respected by him. He simply and quietly acknowledged it." Spice commented on a gossip page post with a single broken heart emoji, and other reality stars also added their voices. Selma, meanwhile, could not be located on the internet. She completely disabled comments and removed her most recent postings. More conjecture was stoked by that quiet. Her previous captions, her attire, and her friends' abrupt unfollows were all examined in fan-made threads. According to one fan testimony, the friction between Selma and Yandy while filming was corroborated by a former assistant. According to the post, they couldn't even be in the same room. They had to be kept apart during confessionals by production. It made no difference if it was true or not. The supporters thought it was true. The vitality. It was divisive and electrifying online. Some thought Mendeecees was at last being honest and taking responsibility. Others claimed he was using emotional manipulation to improve his reputation. It was best summed up in one viral comment: "He's not lying. He's on stage." However, the unadulterated emotion in his eyes only added to the complexity. He appeared worn out. It's the fatigue that comes from knowing that something went wrong and will never be mended, not the fatigue that comes from controversy. He sighed deeply, leaned back, and added, "Yessie is the strongest woman I know," at one point in the video. "She didn't say anything negative about me, despite everything. She had the opportunity to ruin me 100 times over, but she didn't, which is why this hurts even more." His voice broke again. "I'm not here to be pitiful. I'm just saying." After the video concluded, rumors began to go like wildfire, and some fans cursed. "I never intended for her to leave," sobbing. "I made a mistake by not being honest sooner." Fans kept playing the clip over and over again. He acknowledged it. Someone tweeted, but with guilt rather than words. Tasha K, who broke the Selma story first, went live again, saying, "I told y'all this months ago." Some said Yandy had already left their house, while others said she was still there, but keeping her distance. Insiders close to her reportedly told a gossip page that she was devastated but focused on keeping her peace. Only now is he expressing it, because the truth had already overtaken him. "She always knows before the cast does," someone remarked in her comment area, proving that Tasha was correct once more. One insider stated that the network was preparing a special section to address the issue, but the producers of Love and Hip Hop remain mute. They want to record the repercussions. According to the source, the reunion may happen sooner than anticipated. While some fans thought Yandy would not film, others thought she would simply turn up to publicly confront Mendeecees. The impact wasn't limited to digital media. In Atlanta, a group of friends appeared at a public event where Mendeecees was supposed to perform, but the organizers decided to postpone it at the last minute because of security concerns. Images of irate fans carrying signs that read "Loyalty Matters" and "Team Yandy Forever" went viral on Twitter, and the scandal had moved from the screen to the real world. By the end of the day, one thing was clear. Everyone agreed that Mendeecees' confession had not given closure, but rather had widened the gulf. His attempt to defend himself left fans with more questions. "We got too close, and I'll carry that error for a long time." Those statements had become cultural fire alarms, and people couldn't stop analyzing them. Some hosts supported Mendeecees, saying he sounded like a guy owning his truth. Others accused him of something similar: TV gossip. Every station repeated the same few lines, attempting to change the course of events before Yandy could present her case. But regardless of what anyone felt, the video had succeeded in keeping everyone's attention. Back in Atlanta, those close to Yandy claimed that she had purposefully stopped publishing and shooting. Producer calls went unanswered, and according to one friend, she's watching everything, just not reacting. She wants the truth to come to light on its own. Fans saw her as even more powerful because of that silence. According to one fan, this is the true meaning of grace. She's leaving the mess to God. Blood was what others desired. No, she should speak up. He admitted it. Keep him from twisting it. In the meantime, Selma's name was at the top of trending searches once more. She hadn't said anything, but screenshots of previous texts were shared, supposedly between her and Mendeecees. Although the messages were emotive, they were not overt. You make me feel seen again, and I wish timing wasn't so complicated. The screenshots lacked authentication and timestamps, but that didn't halt the cascade. They were shared by one blogger with the following caption, "The text that started it all," and within an hour, thousands of fans had shared it. "She was in love," a user remarked. Another person said he was living a double life. A further layer of turmoil developed as the internet continued to feed itself. A fan who said they worked close to the Love and Hip Hop set shared a thread claiming that a backstage altercation had already occurred. Yandy pulled up, the post read. To put it mildly, tears were shed. Within minutes, the thread went viral, detailing how Mendeecees allegedly attempted to speak with her privately, but Yandy told him, "You already said enough on camera." Fans took it as gospel, despite the fact that no one could verify its authenticity. She expressed what had to be expressed. One commenter said, "He can cry on his live," but she cried in silence. Mendeecees, on the other hand, remained offline for a full day until abruptly sharing a black and white image with his hand covering his face with the words, "The truth is painful, but it also heals." Comments went wild. "Stop quoting pain and start apologizing." Someone wrote, "Where's Yandy's healing?" Another inquired. Yet among the criticism, there were still a few loyal followers defending him. At least he's trying to be honest, stated one. The majority of guys would continue to lie. His message trended for 2 days in a row because of the dichotomy between sympathy and hate. Then the unexpected turn of events occurred. A little video clip of Selma speaking on the phone with someone in a parking lot started making the rounds. She covered herself and appeared distressed, face with one hand while stating, "They're making me look like the villain." The grainy video was obviously taken without her consent, yet it quickly gained popularity. Under titles like "Selma finally breaks down over Mendeecees scandal," blogs covered it. Fans posted a wide range of responses in the comments section. Some felt terrible for her. She was accused of playing the victim by others. "Your bed was made by you." There was one comment, "You don't enjoy the view anymore." Mendeecees' sit-down was never intended to be public, according to an unidentified program producer who spoke to a gossip website the same evening. It was shot for a reunion program that will air soon. He wasn't prepared for it to leak, the insider said. They're all spinning it their own way now. The entire tone of the debate was altered by this realization. People realized that the early release of Mendeecees' own footage might have taken him by surprise. However, that didn't justify the remarks he'd, or the suffering they inflicted. Yandy's supporters persisted in their rally. Her best moments on the show were captured in fan edits. Scenes in which she supported men no matter what, combined with melancholy music and captions such, "She deserved loyalty, not lessons." Reels on Instagram and TikTok were overrun with these edits, garnering millions of views. In order to have Yandy her own spin-off devoid of poisonous plotlines, several users even created petitions. Fans were able to put their own feelings onto her quiet, which now served as a symbol of dignity. Mendeecees fans attempted to retaliate by sharing old videos of him cuddling with his children and complimenting Yandy in interviews. But he continued to treat her in that manner, despite the fact that those videos simply made matters worse. As if the internet wasn't already in disarray, Tasha K returned with another live performance. One fan said, "He said all this just to lie later." People no longer wanted to remember the good times. They were too caught up in the betrayal. She smirked at the camera and added, "I told y'all there was more. Y'all thought the first bomb was big, baby. We are just getting started." She stated she had texts from another lady warning Selma to avoid married guys. The conversation turned crazy. People demanded, "Drop the receipts. We need screenshots," but Tasha hasn't yet provided them. The suspense became intolerable as she simply chuckled, took a sip of her wine, and remarked, "Next week, get your popcorn ready." Everyone was curious about what someone else was on the way. However, Selma, Mendeecees, and Yandy, the most impacted, remained uncomfortably silent. No denial could overpower that quiet, Erica Mena, who had her own history of love and hip-hop scandals, then abruptly joined in. In response to a post about the circumstance, she wrote, "Sometimes fans instantly interpreted that as a jab at guys. Those who preach loyalty the loudest are the first to test it." She was cautioning Yandy not to trust anyone, according to others. Her comment received thousands of responses in a matter of minutes. Someone wrote, "You know something, Erica. Spill the tea." She didn't answer, but the harm had already been done. The conversation was rekindled by her remarks. There were rumors that Yandy had moved out of the house where she lived with Mans. A moving truck was seen sitting outside their driveway in a grainy internet image. It was sufficient to put the internet in yet another downward spiral. Someone tweeted that it was over. She actually left. Fans believed it immediately, whether it was real or not. Soon, there were thought pieces about the cost of fame, how social media ruins relationships, and black love under siege. Everyone was trying to figure out what had happened. Despite the cacophony, Mendeecees' initial remarks continued to reverberate. "We were too near." Everything was now centered on the line. What was meant by too close? Was it sentimental? Was there any physical contact? Supporters argued incessantly, writing essays, theoretical videos, and surveys regarding his true intentions. The story endured longer than any confirmation could because of the ambiguity. New rumors that Yandy was getting ready to speak for the first time began to circulate as night fell. According to a blog, she consented to be interviewed by a large platform to her reality. In anticipation, fans cleared their schedules and set reminders. Everyone knew Yandy's response would squash Mendeecees' confession if it had already caused a stir on the internet. Additionally, a brief teaser was released by the network at midnight. Yandy seated before a camera, her gaze red but stable. Softly, "I loved hard," she said. The internet was silent for a while before exploding once more. And that's the part that hurts the most. No context, no explanation, just that one sentence.